Thanks for staying with us. So a story caught our attention on social media, and we thought it was interesting to have a conversation around it because it actually got quite a bit of comments on it. It was about a male nurse who was tweeting about his experience in the hospital. He said that at the end of it all, he was speaking specifically to men, saying that at the end of it all, usually it's the wife that stays with the man in the hospital in the last days. According to this person, children will come and go, friends and family will visit, but it's usually the wife that stays with you through the entire process. They're the one that ensure you get the best medical care that is available to you. We've seen a lot of situations where when men fall ill, even their ex-wives or people that they have totally abandoned for years are called upon. Those ones always feel obligated to come and support them during that last moment. And then it makes us have the conversation of, do we still have women like this? And how should men ensure that in their last days, they have their loved ones with them? Especially those of us that are very ambitious. We are trying to do so many things and marry multiple wives and multiple children everywhere, having a great time, but we always forget on the last day. What are your thoughts on this tweet? Because it got many people talking, and we thought it was something that we can bring also here to have a conversation about. You can call us on 081-764-1679, 090-241-63440. You can always tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read the tweets.
It's something we know.
Yeah.
We've heard it, maybe not because it's coming directly from a nurse and the way it was broken down would make people pay a bit more attention. We've seen it display, women leaving their husbands to take care of the children, saying that I'm going to nurse my grandchildren and it might be like 6 months. I'm going for Mugo for 6 months and the man is left by himself, nobody feeding or taking care of him. And we understand that depending on the quality of relationship a woman has, a wife has with the husband, would influence how she would treat him when they get older. And statistically, women tend to, we look at it and it looks like women might age, but we see men tend to have the health challenges and the women are able to run around, maybe because we have age difference when we marry. People are like 10 years apart, 6 years apart, so the man might get older and have some complications while the woman is stronger and meant to nurse the man. So this nurse mentioned something. He said that there are some wives that they would sit by the bedside and they would be harassing nurses and doctors to prefer quality treatments to their husband. Yeah. And some wives would sit there and they're like lackadaisical. They will not clean up the man if there is need. And if family members come, they'll be like, you cannot force me, you can't compel them, but they will be there. And the fact that a lot of children will visit and go.
Because they have their lives.
Because they have their lives to live. So who will stay with you long term? Reminds me of what Mariah's husband said in one of the interviews I watched long ago, and I can never forget it. He said, your family is your last defense.
Last line of defense.
Last line of defense. Your family is your last. For me, husband and wife, each other is your last line of defense. If anything happens, are you sure that you are married to someone that would have your back, that would be willing to give it up for you, give up their career, give up their time to nurse you back to health? God forbid an accident happens. Do you have the relationship you have with your partner now? Is a relationship that if anything happens to you, your partner would make the sacrifices necessary to nurse you back to health? That's a very, very important question, male and female, to answer.
To ask yourself.
Interesting. Mary, want to jump in?
Yes, the message is really for men. He was saying that sometimes we see men brag about misbehavior. Oh, I'm counseling this woman here, counseling this woman there, mistreating the wife at home, not paying enough attention at home. And you're seen as the don amongst your friends, and you think you've gotten away with it until such a time as this. And then you're now leaning on the people that you have treated badly in the days of your youth or in the days that you had strength, you had money. And you hope that that person is unconditionally kind towards you, even though you're undeserving of it. You're hoping that this person is almost like God that would show you mercy even when you're undeserving. It's important that men hear these stories because I feel that young men don't really hear these stories. They hear the stories of how this one, you married the second wife on top of him. If she talked too much, marry 5 on top of him. You know, those are the stories they hear to ginger them, but they don't hear this part of it. And I'm happy that he's brought it. And it's also good that it's from a male perspective. Because many times when we talk as women is that we're talking too much. Oh, it's her jealousy that is making her talk. And I think that this will make a lot of people pay attention. It was also interesting to note the comments. A lot of people, it happened to them. You know, many people were able to relate to this story one way or the other. We know of stories. I know of someone who, when he was really ill, they went to go and dig up the ex-wife from somewhere. This person had not been in her life for many years. He had so many girlfriends left, right, and center. You know, her children begged her, "Mommy, please just stay with him, just stay with him." That's how, in his last years, she stayed with him and took care of him for the sake of her children. But you may be unlucky, you may have children that don't even care for you because you did not show them any form of care or responsibility while you were strong and able to.
So this is a case of you reap what you sow. How and what are you sowing in your marriage relationship? How and what are you sowing in the way that you treat your spouse? Because the children are watching, the children are observing, the children are assimilating. Even though sometimes women like to hide some of the bad things their husbands do to them because they don't want the children to know. Your children are very much connected to you, first of all, even before the man. They can sense from your mood that something is wrong. And they are making their own judgments. They are making their own opinions. They are, you know, keeping those things. It's tucked away. Sometimes you look back and like, do you know that this man, as rich as he was, immediately he fell. His children abandoned him. And you're wondering, why would the children, he sent them to the best schools. But because of those things that they had assimilated subconsciously, it just happens that they don't really care. It could also be that they have seen you not care towards their mom. They have seen you not care towards your own parents. And it's normal. Once we finish, everybody finds their life and we move on. So men need to be careful. I have seen this play out so many times. You know? See, let me tell you something my husband always says. When I come up with, you know, my ideas come seasonally. I'll just think of one thing. I say, brother, come and support me. You say, I will support you. I will support you. I'm sure he has said it to you people. So that it's not when I can no longer shine, I can no longer do bragado. You now tell me that's how you do not allow me shine. That's how and you now start dealing with me. Will it make you happy? Let's go. And he said he does it purposely because he has seen this play out so many times where, and you know, women know how to internalize and start building resentment. A woman can be with you for 20 years. She's waiting for you at Amen Junction. When you get there, she will show her colors because she has suffered, you know, all through in silence, just trying to make sure that these kids grow up and everything. So men really need to be careful. Men need to be watchful. Men need to be more open. If anything is bothering you, instead of focusing on just treating the wife badly because you think you have the capacity to do so, have a conversation, find a way to solve it. Let your children see that you are doing your best in that marriage.
You know, this story is so close to home. It's like, it's, in fact, I can write 10 books on this matter. But let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.